live in high definition. This is Western New York's news leader. Now, News 4 at 5.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on News 4 at 5. We are live at the Erie County Fairgrounds for day 2 of the fair here, and we'll be bringing you our newscast live from the fair through next week.
And today is a very special day, made even more special because today is Call for Action Day. We will hear from our voters coming up in just about 15 minutes. But first, we want to get you to our top story on News 4 at 5 as we continue to examine the fallout from the federal indictment of Congressman Chris Collins on charges of insider trading and lying to the FBI.
I believe I acted properly and within the law at all times with regard to my affiliation with Innate. Throughout my tenure in Congress, I have followed all rules and all ethical guidelines when it comes to my personal investments, including those with Innate.
Last night, the Republican from Clarence said he is not stepping down and he will seek re-election in November. News 4's Chris Horvatitz asked for a reaction to that announcement from others in Collins' party today. He's in our North Buffalo studios tonight. Chris?
Hi, Jackie. Erie County Republican Chairman Nick Langworthy says it is on Chris Collins right now to determine whether or not he can be an effective representative for the constituents of New York's 27th district. And now that the chair has had a chance to look at that indictment and hear Collins speak, he's speaking with News 4. Today, Langworthy told me he thought the issue involving Collins and Innate Immunotherapeutics had come and gone, and that's why he was shocked when the feds accused Collins of insider trading involving that company, which he served as a board member. Collins has said he'll fight to clear his name and stay in the race against Democrat Nate McMurray for that seat this November. Langworthy would not say whether he thinks Collins should resign his seat in Congress, but he did say his only concern, Langworthy's that is getting a conservative Republican elected to that seat this November, a job he admits is a little more difficult now.
Of course it is. I mean, anytime you've got a candidate that becomes distracting to the message, distracting to other candidates, it becomes an issue. This is, I mean, I'm not going to bury my head in the sand. This is a serious concern. There's serious charges being leveled. His legal team has their hands full.
And when I asked Langworthy if he would still go so far as to say he endorses Collins for that seat, he only said Collins is the nominee of the party and there's nothing they can do to change that. Along with the criminal charges Collins and others are facing, the SEC is pursuing a civil suit against them. News 4's Jen Schatz explains, though.
Congressman Collins, his son Cameron, and Cameron's future father-in-law Stephen Zarsky are charged in a civil insider trading suit, which was also filed yesterday. Like the criminal indictment, this civil suit has an in-depth timeline of when Collins allegedly shared information that saved his son and Zarsky major losses. Assistant finance professor Brian Wolf with UB's Jacobs School of Management says insider trading charges rely heavily on timing, and it's the timing of alleged trades made by Cameron Collins and Stephen Zarsky that serve as the backbone of this civil suit. The SEC alleges Collins' tips about poor drug trial results for Innate Immunotherapeutics led Cameron Collins, his fiancée, her father, Stephen Zarsky, to dump more than 1.7 million shares, avoiding more than $780,000 in losses. From the SEC's standpoint, Wolf says no one is that lucky.
The way we can track information is really easy, and the way people get caught for inside trading isn't usually because of some crazy trail of information. It's because they conduct a trade that was a really well-timed trade. What the SEC is doing is really just looking to protect investors from people that have privileged information that shouldn't be allowed to trade on that.
Now, in addition to asking all 3 defendants to repay any gains they received through allegedly illegal information, the commission also wants to ban Congressman Collins from ever again serving as a director or on a board of a publicly traded company. Jen Schatz, News 4.
All right, Jen, thanks very much. We also have much more coverage on this case coming up on News 4 at 5:30. And, of course, you can always find the latest updates, and there are many, especially in this case, online, WIVB.com and our News 4 app.
Now, our other big story tonight, the Buffalo Bills are back at New Era Field. Thousands of fans are heading out to New Era Field to watch the team take on the Carolina Panthers in their first preseason game of the year.
But that also means there is a lot of traffic, and if you happen to catch us on News 4 at 4, you saw there were a lot of issues out there. Here's a live look now at the Skyway. Be sure it is probably packed with drivers headed to Orchard Park, and also, of course, here at the fairgrounds. And we want to make sure that you are prepared before you hit the roads tonight. Let's go check in once again with Mike McQueen with a live look at your traffic. Good evening, Mike.
Dave, a couple hours before game time, plenty of delays all across the area as the peak of rush hour along with the drive to the stadium and fairgrounds kind of converged today. In Hamburg, we do have a bit of good news that closure of Route 75 Lake Street has been lifted now. We are clear. An earlier accident has been cleared there in Hamburg. The yellow alert on the map remains up for pregame traffic patterns for Abbott Road, which is closed in Orchard Park between lots 2 and 4. They do that before game time. New accident reported on the 190 North near the 290. I can show you live what's going on there. We've got an accident on the camera views blocking the right-hand lane. This is the 190 North just before the 290 ramps and the northbound South Grand Island Bridge. That's creating delays northbound. The southbound delays along the river. You are on the brake for quite a stretch, all the way down past the Peace Bridge into the downtown stretch beyond the Peace Bridge, and then onto the ramp to the outbound only Skyway patterns, which remain sluggish through Lackawanna and Blaisdell down toward Ridge and the Mile Strip Road area. The delays on the thruway westbound actually begin on the 290 East in Amherst and continue all the way through Cheektowaga. There's a live look near the 33 ramps, continuing down past the 190 split, and is just a very slow go all the way through the work zone toward Ridge and the 219. Traffic brought to you by Monroe Chiropractic, dedicated to you with experience, quality, and compassion. Jackie, Dave, back to you.
All right, Mike, that's amazing, isn't it?
That is a lot of traffic.
Traffic already backed up to the 290 there. Kickoff isn't until 7 o'clock tonight, but fans are already streaming into the stadium.
Yeah, let's head out now, just a stone's throw away from where Jackie and I are standing here to Orchard Park, and that's where News 4's Rachel Monjovi joins us. She's hearing from some fans who are already very excited about a season. Rachel?
Well, Dave and Jackie, we are here at New Era Field where fans are gearing up for the Bills' first preseason game of the 2018 season. You can see fans are already out here getting pumped for the game. We got some cornhole going. We got little drinks out here. We have music going. Some people are grilling up some burgers and hot dogs. We got some touch football going on out here. Everything you would expect at a tailgate we have going on out here tonight. There's not a whole lot of fans out here yet, but now that it's a little bit after 5, people are getting out of work. The parking lots are starting to fill up a little bit more. We did talk to a couple of fans out here, and they're really optimistic going into this season's game. I mean, fans always seem to be optimistic, but this year it's a little different. Since last season, we all know the Bills ended the 17-year playoff drought. They're hoping that the Bills can make it to the playoffs once again this year. A lot of the fans we talked to say that they're eagerly waiting to see Josh Allen, the new quarterback's debut on the field, or at least see him in uniform for the first time. So that will be something that a lot of fans will be anticipating for tonight's game. Now, the preseason game against the Carolina Panthers starts tonight at 7 p.m. at New Era Field. Again, we will be out here mingling with the fans, and we'll have another live report for you on News 4 at 6. Dave and Jackie.
Thank you, Rachel. An important reminder for anybody using Uber at tonight's game. The Uber zone is where you get picked up. It will now be located at the western end of the adjacent ECC South campus, so it's a little bit of a hike. Previously, it was just outside the stadium. Officials say this new location will allow drivers to leave quicker through Southwestern Boulevard or Big Tree Road. We'll have much more on the game and the quarterback battle coming up in sports. But right now, we have a lot more news on the way at 5, including a new way to get around UB's North Campus.
That's right. We'll take you on the road using the university's first self-driving shuttle.
And then coming up at 5:30, a key witness in a civil rights case in Buffalo is a no-show. We'll tell you what message the judge had today for the jury.